Sorry, let's do this again. Everyone, now that we're recording, welcome to the Community Hangout. I wanted to remind everyone that we're always looking for things to demo. The demo we're going to get today from Raccoon Gang happened because someone mentioned it at a previous Community Hangout. And I said, oh, that sounds interesting. And I reached out to Raccoon Gang and asked them to demo it. So I think lots of people using Open edX are adding their own customizations or tweaks or making interesting courses or reaching out to unusual types of learners. Everyone would like to hear about those sorts of things. And this is your chance to brag, frankly, to other people in the community. And what I'm hoping is that it will spark some collaboration, spread some ideas around, and just generally energize the community to do more interesting things with Open edX. So think about what you'd like to show. Think about what you'd like to see. There's a topic in discourse in discuss.openedx.org where we're looking for ideas of things you'd like to hear about. So we're always open to ideas like that. So feel free to put ideas in there for either things to see or things to show. So with that, are you ready? So tomorrow you're going to be demonstrating. I invited Alexandra to demonstrate. You're going to demonstrate. Is that right? Tomorrow?
That's right, because I participated. And
sorry, I have terrible internet connection, so tomorrow cover me today.
Okay,
that's right.
Fine. As long as there's no fighting going on over there in Ukraine about who gets the demo.
I think we can handle it after that.
Okay, good.
Okay. Okay, so I will share my screen if you don't mind.
Great. So give us some of the backstory too about how this came about when you get a chance.
Sure. Actually, the report we developed covers 2 use cases.
So
use case one, it's great for instructors working with staff graded assignments with any type, basically, of staff graded assignments, because it helps managing the workload and see how many assignments you have left to check. And use case 1, that was use case 1, actually. Use case 2, it helps to gather all the statistics and information about students on the course in one spreadsheet, which is actually very useful as well, because you don't need to, scroll down of all these grade books and infos. You have it all gathered in one place.
Our discuss.openedx.org discussion forum, and the activity's picking up. I would like to see more. I want to highlight a few things that are happening there in the hopes of getting people to go and do them. The first is that, can you see this?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. So Marco mentioned the collaborative proposals section of Discourse. This is a category in the forum that is designed for people who want to build a thing or to ask about someone building a thing. The top topic here is Lawrence asking if anyone's working on LTI 1.3 and someone from OpenCraft saying that they had done a little bit of work on LTI 1.3. So it's a really good way to avoid duplication of effort or find out if there's a domain expert out there, and ideally come together and build something collaboratively so that you don't have to shoulder all the work yourself. And then you know at the end that it's good for more than one use case, and it'll be generally better for the community as a whole. So for example, this would be a good place to make a post about this grades report, put in a screenshot, say what state it's in, and see what other people have to say about it. You'll get more eyeballs on it than the people who are online right now, and probably a lot more interest.
Okay.
Just as another topic that happened just today, actually, someone asking in the community category about how to build community. I'm not even sure if this person is talking about an Open edX community. He's asking in general about citizen communities. But we had a really good reply from Matt Hatton of AppSembler about the difficulties of community. And he's hit the nail right on the head and used some really good phrases like someone has to kick the pebbles that start the landslide. And that's us. Those of us who are online right now are probably just those types of people. So anything you all can do in the discourse forum to welcome people, answer people, direct people to the right place, give them even just clues if you don't have an answer, is a good way for people to feel like that's a valuable place to go and to grow their open edX efforts. A lot of the forum right now is installation questions and operations questions, but there are categories for other sorts of things. So don't be put off if it seems like you can't participate just because you don't know how to spell Ansible. If you know how to design courses, there's probably people who would like to talk about that, but they just need to see it start happening. Any questions or comments about discourse, the discuss.openedx.org, before I use it as a really smooth segue into the next topic? All right, the last topic I wanted to show you from discourse is about our Python porting and our Django porting, and therefore what might happen with Juniper. And actually, since I wrote this topic, we've had more discussions about the date for Juniper, which we can throw open to the floor here. But before we do that, I want to have Faniel talk about the porting efforts that are going on.
Yeah, so as some of you might be aware, Python 2 is going out of support at the end of this year. So we've been working pretty hard on getting that over the line. We started the effort early this year when Jeremy sort of pushed forward a bunch of anchor tickets to start the conversion. Since then, we've brought it in-house.
I'm going to stop share and then you can see.
Sure. All right. So we are, so we've been doing a bunch of work internally. We've got most of the edX platform tests passing. Most of the other services that are a part of an Open edX release have already been converted. The last 3 remaining are edX platform, the XQ, and the e-commerce service. And all of them are pretty close to being ready for Python 3. But to us, Python 3 is sort of just a prerequisite to the more important update that we need to make, which is Django 2.2. Django 1.11 goes out of support in April. And so we want to get to Django 2.2 before then because we like receiving Django's regular security updates. And Django tends to get more of them more regularly than Python. So that seems like the more urgent thing. To that end, we will be, once we are done with the Python 3 upgrade, we'll be working on Django 2.0, 2.1, 2.2. You may have seen there's a survey that is a part of that request, which is
the survey is linked from the discourse post.
Right. And you can find, if you have any capabilities where you can help us with that conversion, which is extremely large and will block Juniper, we would love to hear from you. We're not yet sure what all the pieces are to make the Django conversion work and what the community can do for it, but we want to try to engage more directly for these efforts that are sort of fundamental to this thing that we all sort of build on top of. So, questions?
Any questions? Anyone raising their hands to help with Django porting? Maybe. No questions? Comments? All right, I'm going to pick up from there with the topic of Juniper. So Faniel said a thing just now that was what I said in the discourse post, which is that Juniper is going to be gated on when we can get ported from Django 1.11 to Django 2.2. Since then, this was 2 days ago, since then we've had more discussions and the question has come up, shouldn't we just do a Juniper right now and then do the COA release, starting with K, COA, when Django 2.2 is done. And the reason for that, the proposal was, the more frequently we do releases, then the more up-to-date our most likely contributors are going to be. So right now, if you are really on top of things, you're running Ironwood. And if you want to make a change to code and contribute it to us, then we're looking at a difference from Ironwood, which is based on code as it was last January. And that's a long time to be sort of keeping that code ready to be merged into. If we were to do a Juniper release now, then people could upgrade to Juniper, and then the contributions they'd make would be based on code as of the middle of November, which would be a much easier thing to merge. That's the theory, and that would be a reason to do Juniper. In the past, we've had feedback that people would rather have less frequent releases than more frequent releases. Maybe when they said less frequent, they didn't mean 15 months, which is maybe where we're headed for with Juniper. It's a very long time for a release. I don't know, we could use more feedback. So there are topics in discourse again about the timing of Juniper and what's important to you. It's entirely possible that if we did a Juniper release right now, people wouldn't upgrade anyway. It's possible that the really prolific contributors are just, they have master running too, so it's no big deal. We need more information in order to make this decision. We don't want to have a Juniper and a Koa that are only 4 months apart. We don't want to have an Ironwood and a Juniper that are 15 months apart. So we're a little bit stuck here trying to choose which of those two scenarios we want to lean towards. So if you can give us some feedback, that would help us make that decision. And I don't mean like right now, although I'm happy to have a discussion about it. But you feel free to think about it. Go into discourse. We'll get the discussion going there if need be. Anyone else have anything to add? Marco?
One other topic.
Okay. All right. So I've stunned everyone into silence about Juniper. Mission accomplished. Marco has another topic.
Great. So I'm going to share my screen. The one thing that's weird about our current setup is that the audio is coming from Ned's machine. So even though I'm close to the mic, hopefully if I'm sharing my screen, you're able to see this. So this is a small update, but there's two things we've talked about in the last 2 months. One of them was a approach to platform development proposals that we've been testing or trying out. And the other one has been a visual representation of the platform. So I'm going to try and give an update for both of those things. So the first thing is everyone should be able to access this platform development proposals service desk.
We'll put a link in the notes.
Mm-hmm. It is also linked from the category description of discourse for the collaborative proposals, which Ned mentioned earlier. So you should be able to get to it from that post. I believe I edited Ned's post to add that link. So that's
double check.
For those of you who haven't seen this, this is sort of a pilot we're hoping to use to help provide earlier product and architectural feedback from edX for potential platform enhancements. The discourse category is a great way to get feedback from the community. But if in particular you're looking for edX to give some early guidance, we're trying to do that through this tool. And so you can take a look at this tool. There's a title to the proposal, a description, and then you can link the OpenEdX discourse thread if there is one. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention as a reminder. The second thing, let me find it and make sure I have the right thing open. Here we go. So the second thing is a visual representation of the platform that is not the easiest thing to read when you're looking just at
but it's more comprehensive than anything I've seen in a long while.
Yes, it is something that's more easily printed and reviewed, but we will try our best here anyways to show this. So I will share another version of this that is digital that will let you preview this, but we have a way of representing, this is just a little snapshot of it. The platform focusing right now just on the learner and educator experiences. So, you know, if you're working on improving the experience of a certain part of the platform, we would all be able to talk about that area of the platform using the same language, right? So, you know, if you were looking to improve course progress, there's an area inside of learner experience, an inside of course experience called primary content experience. And inside of that, we have an area called visual course progress. So that's just an example of a really detailed area. Another example here is like the discussion forums. That's another category in a different part of the map. So the reason for bringing this up is we will sort of post on Discourse a preview of this map and get people to sort of chime in on their thoughts about it. Like I said, we've previously given an update about this. But the thing I wanted to mention is that if I go back to what we shared a little bit earlier, this platform development proposals area, we had, I'm going to try and zoom in here, a way of doing this in the past that we called platform area. And it was these two levels of categories. So for example, learner experience, and I can search for discussion forums, learning tools discussions. So this new thing that I just showed you that is a picture, we're still piloting, but what we did is we added these optional fields to this form. So you can sort of help us figure out if this is any easier to classify by also classifying your proposals using this format. And hopefully we'll be able to link to the visual so that you can use that as a reference point. But you'll notice this other way of doing it is a lot deeper. It took me a lot longer to get to discussions than it did before. But we're hopeful that it represents the platform in a way that lets us have conversations about different levels of it. So that is our first attempt at putting it in a real place where people can try it out. We know that not a lot of folks have necessarily gotten to the point where they've started using this, but just wanted to give an update on both the platform development proposals process and the platform map today. And that's all we have, unless there's any questions we can answer.
Any questions or discussions about that? Or any other questions?
Yeah, sorry.
Go.
Sorry, just double check that I got it right. So it will be like a sort of a storage for proposals from different people, and you'll be able to check it and see something that suits you and works for you. Or, sorry, I didn't catch the goal of it. What happens after a proposal? So
it's a good question. So the first thing that happens when you submit a proposal is that right now, the first step in the process is a product review. So right now that means it pings me and I try and provide feedback on sort of, how could this proposal fit into where the platform is heading? Are there suggestions we could make about making it a plugin or connecting it to a different part of Studio or, or the platform, for example. And then after that product review is an architectural review. So we get different people at edX, whether it's the people in this room here, Jeremy, Ned, Fanil, Dave Ormsby, Nimisha, others, to give architectural guidance on that contribution. And we hope that that early feedback will minimize some of the churn that happens at times on open source pull requests when there's already code in place. So we're trying to basically give earlier feedback as people that are familiar with the platform on how your potential contribution could both be contributed back to the platform, either as a plugin or as a core improvement, but also hopefully even speed up your ability to build it as well. So we hope that both edX and ecosystem partners like yourselves benefit from that relationship. But you can submit the proposal if that feedback would be valuable, but we also encourage you to publicize that on Discourse to get other people to be aware of it as well.
okay. And the contributor will stay updated on whether his proposal was taken into work and will be accepted or rejected.
Right. So that proposal, that service desk, if you submit a proposal through that tool, it will tell you, hey, this is now in product review, and hey, this is now in architectural review, and when we add comments to it, you'll be able to see those there as well. in the future, we may look at a way of trying to get our feedback on those proposals to be cross-posted also on the discourse thread so that no one misses out on any of the conversation. But we haven't quite figured out how to do that, and we're still just testing this. So it's still pretty early, but yeah, you'll be able to track the status of that in terms of where it is in the process.
Okay, thanks.
And as Marco said, this is a process we're just starting. It's Marco's best guess from his experience about how to coordinate these types of collaborations as early as possible in the best way possible, but we could always use feedback. So if you give it a try and something seems like it could be improved, definitely get in touch and let us know. The whole goal here is to make collaboration work better so that contribution works better so that you feel better and we get a better product at the end. So wherever it seems like that might not be happening or it could be improved, let us know. Any other
Great.
thoughts? Thank you. Any other thoughts or comments about the platform map or the product development proposal process? All right. Any other last thoughts or comments that anyone wants to say? Got the microphone. No. All right. Thanks for coming. We'll continue these discussions on the discourse forum, and we'll see you in about a month. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.